Hello guys, good morning. So welcome sa ating video lecture or online lecture. So sorry about sa pinost ko na lectures na walang audio. Hindi pala na-record yung previous audio ko nung lecture, sayang. So ulitin ko na naman ulit. Okay. So midterm na tayo. So our topic is about construction engineering and management. So basics lang. So this is a two-part na lesson. So for part 1, we have the surveying. So for desired learning outcome, so pabasa na lang, hindi ko na sasabihin. Okay, para ma-shorten yung length ng video lectures natin. Okay. Then for introduction, so I'm sure na lahat kayo familiar na sa word na surveying. So when you hear the word surveying, I'm sure na merong mga basic ideas na papasok sa inyong mga utak. Kasi hindi ka naman mag-engineering kung hindi mo alam kung ano ibig sabihin ng surveying. Okay? So what is surveying? So surveying is the science of art and determining the relative position of points above, on, or beneath the Earth's surface and locating the points in the field. So in short, surveying is tagahanap or tagabigay ng lokasyon ng isang bagay. Okay? So it is conducted for the preparation of maps. So yun ang importansya niya para sa mga maps, plots, topography, and boundaries to establish ownership of land and use in the design, planning, and construction of any type of structure and communication networks. Okay? So, anong nangyayari sa isang property or area kung walang boundaries? Di ba usually mag-aaway-away yung magkakapitbahay niyan kasi kanya-kanyang angkinan ng teritoryo. So, kaya yun, nagkaroon ng surveying to establish boundaries between the to ownership of the land. Okay? So, ginagamit din ng mga survey data sa design, planning, and construction of any type of structure. Okay? So, survey is performed to prepare a map. Okay. So, survey shows the natural feature of a country such as town, village, roads, railways, etc. So, I'm sure familiar mo sa Google Earth or Google Maps. So, this is an example of a map, topographic map. So, gamit ito ay Google Map or Google Earth. So, as you can see, uh, it shows mga roads, mga villages, mga landmarks. So, we have here the DOCOCST. Sorry. School. So, asan yung building natin? So, ito yung building ng engineering. So, ganyan ang topo map or maps from surveys. Okay, so andito tayo. Andito ako pala sa ngayon. Okay. So, yan. Nakalagay din doon yung mga details ng kalsada, pangalan ng roads, ito Martinez Avenue, details kung may mga bridge, tulay, intersection, other infrastructure, no? Naka-indicate din dapat sa isang map. So sa history, ang survey daw is nagsimula sa Egypt at about 1400 BC before Christ. So tagal na, no? Nagsimula siya yung along Nile River, which is divided para sa taxation. So ang mga Egyptian surveyors created rope stretchers to relocate the land division. So measurements were made with ropes having knots at unit distances. Isipin nyo yun, rope lang ginamit nila sa pag-survey, no? Na may mga knots at unit distances. So, extensive use of surveying in building Egyptian monuments. So, ayun ang ginamit nila sa pag-build ng mga pyramid. So, if you will notice, yung mga pyramids is very precise, no? Ang ganda nung pagkakagawa niya. Pyramid talaga, parang perfect yung mga alignment, mga lines, pati angles and details. So, yun lang, gamit lang nila rope stretchers lang. Pero nakagawa sila ng mga kamangha-manghang mga structure, 'di ba? Words, wonders of nature or wonders of the world, 'di ba? So isipin mo 'yon, ropes lang gamit nila sa surveys. So sa pag-build nila ng mga infrastructure, survey muna yung ginawa nila. Conduct muna sila ng surveys. Okay? After ng Egypt, during the Greek period, so they just expanded yung mga work ng mga Egyptian, no? They developed. Doon na nagsimula yung geometry. And during their time, they also developed the earliest surveying instrument, which is called the diopter, which is a form of level instrument. And after sa Greeks, pumasok yung Roman period. So they developed surveying into science to create daw Roman roads, aqueducts, and land division systems. Okay? So surveyors daw held great power. So napaka-powerful daw ng mga surveyors noong panahon ng mga Romans. So they had schools and professional organization. They also developed a surveying instrument like groma, libella, and chorobates. So this is an example of groma, which is a cross instrument used to determine lines and straight angles. So cross siya, meron siyang mga parang mga hulog or mga plumbum para sa determination ng mga lines and right angles. Then babatakan lang ng pag ganun, batak pag ganun, para makuha nila yung mga magandang angles ng linya. Okay? Then we have the libella. So ito yung libella. Libella is a A-frame with a plumb bob used for leveling. So meron siyang plumb bob sa gitna. Okay. Ito siya. And then the chorobates with a 20 feet straight edge with oil in notch for leveling. Ito. Chorobates. Para may bench siya, may bench. Then may mga strings doon sa loob na ginagamit para sa straight line. Okay? Yan yung mga example ng mga unang surveying instrument noong panahon ng mga Romans. Okay? And during Middle Ages, so land division of Romans continued sa Europe. So dyan na nagsimula yung quadrants, which is a square brass frame capable of turning angles up to 90 degree and has a graduated scale. So yun na yung medyo high-tech nung panahon nila. And dumating yung 18th and 19th century. So the need for mapping and marking land claims caused extensive surveying, especially by the English. No? So during 1785, United States began extensive surveys of public lands. So 1807, United States Geological Survey founded to establish an accurate control network and mapping. And some of the notable surveyors during their time is George Washington. I think they're President of the United States. Then we have Thomas Jefferson, George Rogers Clark, Abilene Lincoln are some famous American surveyors. So kung di ako nagkakamali, sila yung nasa sikat na yung mukha nila is naka-ukit sa bundok sa US. Ito sila. I'm not sure kung sila yan. Pa-double check nyo na lang. And during 20th century, as technology advanced, so population increase and land value caused development of licensure for surveyors in all states. So engineering requirements for licensure, so nagsimula ang pagkuha ng mga license in early 1990s. So dumating na rin dyan yung capable na yung mga GPS, construction machine control, and LIDAR or scanning mapping. So it involved rebuilding of the infrastructure and geographic information system or GIS. Okay, let's go to some surveying basics. So we have the phases of surveyor work. We have decision making, selecting methods. So in doing survey work, so napakaraming methods and equipment and point locations na pwedeng gamitin. Okay, so hindi lang siya isa. Napakaraming method. Ipili ka lang kung anong gusto mo or kung saan ka mas hiyang. Then we have the field work and data collection. So after of course surveying works, so you can get a fieldwork data, which is used making measurements and recording data in the field. After which, syempre, i-compute mo yung mga data na na-collect mo. So you will prepare calculations based upon the recorded data to determine locations in a usable form. So kung ano lang yung data na nakuha mo, yun lang din yung i-compute mo. Okay? Hindi ka pwedeng manghula lang. After computing the data or data processing, from there, you can prepare maps or data presentation. So you will plot the data na na-compute mo to produce a map or chart in the proper form. So yun yung sinabi ko na topographic map, site development map, maraming map. Okay? Then of course, there's stakeout and locating, establishing monuments or stakes in the proper locations in the field. So once na matapos ka na sa mapping mo, nakuha mo na yung exact data or location, maglalagay ka na ngayon ng mga mohon doon sa property na kinuhanan mo ng data to locate its proper locations. Stakeout yun yung mga paglalagay ng mga mohon or property line sa mga boundary. If you will notice, kung meron kayong mga lote na may mga tawag dito, mohon. Kita naman siguro kayo ng mohon, no? Yung cylindrical na concrete na nilalagay sa mga kanto-kanto ng mga lupa ninyo. Yun yung mohon. Yun na yung nilalagay after ng mapping to establish proper locations. Usually, mga geodetic engineer naman nagalagay niyan. Okay? Now, we have some categories of surveying. We have the plain surveying and geodetic surveying. So, sa plain surveying naman, with the reference base for fieldwork and computations, so, makinig. So, ang reference niya sa fieldwork and computations are assumed to be flat horizontal surface. So, sa plain surveying naman, ang ibig sabihin daw niyan, ang earth is flat. So, hindi kinoconsider dyan yung curvature ng earth or pagiging bilog ng earth. So, during plain surveying, flat lang siya, ang ground, very flat. So, all triangles formed by survey lines are considered as plain triangles. So, the level line is considered as straight and plumb lines are considered parallel. Yun lang yun. For geodetic surveying naman, ito na yung kinikonsider na yung mga Earth's curvature, no? Or the shape of the Earth. So, the object of geodetic survey is to determine the precise position on the surface of the Earth of a system of widely distant points which form control stations in which surveys of less precision may be referred. Okay? So, geodetic surveying is carried out if the area exceeds over 250 square kilometers. So, ganun kalaking area na. Pag maliliit lang, mga bahay-bahay lang, pwede na yung plain surveying. Kasi hindi naman makaka-apekto yung niyan, Earth's curvature sa computation. Then we have some types of surveys. Number one is the photogrammetry. So it's mapping utilization data obtained by camera or other sensors carried in airplanes or satellites. So when we say photogrammetry, so mayroong eroplano dumaan sa lupa nyo, may mga picture and camera, pinipicturean na yung mga location nyo. So yun na yung tinatawag na photogrammetry, so mapping. So ito, I'm sure ito yung ginagawa ng Google Earth yata. Photogrammetry. Pero satellite yung gamit nila sa pagkuha ng mga ng pictures. Okay, we have the boundary surveying, establishing property corners, boundaries, and area of land parcels. So, kumbaga sinasubdivide lang nila yung mga lupa or sila yung tagabigay ng mga location ng boundaries, ng mga points. Kung hanggang saan lang yung property mo or area mo. Ganun. Okay, others types of surveying. We have the control surveying, establishing a network of horizontal and vertical monuments that serves as reference framework for other survey points. Ito naman yung maglalagay ka ng mga mohon or reference points. I don't know kung nakita naman ng control points. Let's check. Parang ganyan, control points. May nakasulat kung anong year, kung sino ang nag-survey, then ano yung reference datum na ginamit. Ganun. Okay, now we have the engineering surveying. So, providing points and elevations for the building civil engineering projects. So, example, engineering surveying, yung kaninang picture. So, ito yon engineering survey. So, ang kumbaga, ang ginagawa lang niya is check lang niya yung mga level ng kada floors. So, second floor to third floor. Check niya ba kung level, kung pares lang level, elevation. Ayan. Yan lang yun. Para lang naman sa construction, during construction ng isang building. Okay. Next, we have the topographic surveying. So, it's collecting data and preparing maps showing the locations of natural man-made features and elevation of points on the ground for multiple uses. So, parang ganito. Then, ang kakalabasan na topo map yun sa Google Earth or Google Maps. Yun na yun. Ang topographic survey yung tagagawa ng mapa. Collect ng data para gumawa ng mapa. Yun yan. Okay, then we have the route surveys, which is topographic and other surveys for long, narrow projects associated with civil engineering projects. So, route surveys, when you say route, sa mga kalsada na to. Nagawa ng kalsada, railroads, ano pa ba? Mga airport, waterways, mga ganun. Yun na yung route surveys. Then we have the hydrographic surveying, which is the mapping of shorelines and the bottom of bodies of water for navigation and resource management. So, ito naman yun. Yung kanina, photogrammetry, sa ibabaw ng lupa. Hydrographic surveying naman, yung ilalim naman ng tubig. Ang sinosurvey or minamap. Gamit naman yung barko, then syempre may mga camera din nakakabit. Yun ang ginagawa niya. Okay, so what are the measurement or how to measure sa surveying? So linear measurement is the basis of all surveying, and even though angles may be read precisely, the length of at least one line in a track must be measured to supplement the angles in locating points. So how do we measure horizontal measurement, or how we conduct measuring horizontal distances? So we have some methods. Number one, we have the pacing. So can be used over short distances. So sa pacing, meron diyang pacing factor usually by steps. Yung step mo lang kung isang hakbang mo, kung ilang meters na yung hakbang mo, ayun yung pacing din. Sa pagsukat ng isang horizontal distance, bali hakbang ka lang. Kung ilang hakbang ka, then i-multiply mo sa pace factor mo, yun na yung pacing. So yun yung pinaka short, madali na gawin, lalo kung wala kang dalang steel tape or mga measuring device or instrument. So pwede ka lang mag-pacing. So sa inyong surveying subject, I'm sure merong merong plate or activity regarding sa pacing. So i-introduce yan sa inyo kung paano gagawin yung pacing. And then we have the odometer readings can be used over longer or inaccessible distances. So I'm sure familiar mo sa odometer readings. Kung meron kayong sasakyan or mga motorcycle, yun yun, odometer readings. Yung kumbaga bawat ikot ng isang wheel, meron siyang na-calculate na equivalent distances. Okay? And then we have the tachometry, which uses the relationship between the angle subtended by a short base distance perpendicular to the base sector of the line. So tachometry naman, gumagamit ka na dyan ng mga surveying instrument. Okay. And of course, yung pinaka sikat or famous, which is the taping. So this is direct method of measuring distances in which a tape of known length, so gamit kayo dyan ng tape, syempre, hindi siya tawaging taping kung wala kayong tape measure. I'm sure nakakita kayo ng tape measure. At intervals throughout its length is stretched along the line to be measured. Okay, so taping, gagawin nyo yan sa ating next activity. Then we have the EDM, the electronic distance measurement. So distance can be measured electronically if the velocity and travel time of electromagnetic energy propagated along a survey line are determined. So parang merong EDM dito isa, merong EDM, then para mag-interlink siya by frequency. Ganyan, pag-travel ng waves. So makomplete na agad yung horizontal distance. And then of course last is we have the GPS or the Global Positioning System. So naka-base siya on the use of satellites in Earth orbit that transmit information which allow to measure the distance between the satellites and the user. So ito GPS, yung mga cellphone natin may mga GPS na yan. So pag connect ka sa Wi-Fi o sa internet, madali mo na lang malolocate yung exact location and points ng mga bagay-bagay sa mundo. So lahat kaya niyang i-locate. But of course, may limitation din ng GPS. It cannot locate your love of your life. Hindi niya kayang gawin yon. You. Okay. Now we have the elevation measurement. So paano ba i-measure ang isang elevation? So elevation is measured with respect to a datum surface that is everywhere perpendicular to the direction of gravity. So we know naman na ang gravity is acting towards the center of the Earth. So, lagi siyang pababa, di ba? So, the datum surface most often is called the geoid. The geoid is an equipotential surface that closely coincide which mean sea level. So, elevations measured with respect to the geoid are called orthometric heights. So, usually naman sa elevation, nakabase tayo sa above sea level, di ba? Lagi naririnig yung altitude na the ground or sa bundok, it's about 760 meters above the ground or 1,200 feet above sea level. So, kumbaga ang sea level, yun na yung geoid or reference datum sa pagkuha ng isang elevation. Okay. And sa inyong surveying subject, tuturuan kayo how you will get the elevation of a point. Okay. So, leveling is a branch of surveying to measure levels o yan ang ginagamit, leveling, sa pagkuha ng levels or elevation measurement of different points with respect to a fixed point such as elevation of a building, height of one point from ground, etc. So, it deals with measurements in a vertical plane. Are the types of leveling? We have the direct leveling, which is the most commonly used method of leveling. So, in this method, measurements are observed directly from leveling instruments. So, may mga leveling instrument tayong ginagamit. So, we have the transit, theodolite, and total stations. So, based on the observation points and instrument positions, direct leveling is divided into different types. We have simple leveling, differential leveling, ply leveling, profile leveling, precise leveling, reciprocal leveling, and that's all. So, kindly basa na lang sa module natin sa Canvas. Download nyo na lang tong module na to. Hindi ko na lang siya masyadong i-discuss. Kasi topic rin to sa surveying nyo ng subject. Then of course, we have the trigonometric leveling, which is a process of leveling in which the elevation of points or the difference between points is measured from the observed horizontal distances and vertical angles in the field is called trigonometric leveling. So in this method, trigonometric relations are used to find the elevation of a point from angle and horizontal distances, also called as indirect leveling. So hindi ko na din, papasadaan na lang din natin. The barometric leveling, ginagamit naman dito is mga barometer. So I'm sure familiar mo sa barometer. So it's an instrument used to measure atmosphere at any altitude. So yun ang ginagamit. So it's a rough estimation and rarely used. So hindi siya masyadong ginagamit sa pagkuha ng elevation ng isang place or points. Then we have the stadia leveling. This is a modified form of trigonometric leveling in which tachymeter principle is used to determine the elevation of point. So in this case, the line of sight is inclined from the horizontal and is more accurate and suitable for surveying in highly terrain. So ito na yung pinaka-latest daw. Pinaka-accurate sa lahat ng types of measuring elevation, stadia leveling. Okay, now we have to measure, of course, the angle and direction measurement. So angular orientation, so angles and directions are measured by angular orientation of a line is expressed in terms of horizontal angles, okay, and vertical angles. So you know what is vertical and horizontal. So diyan kinukuha na yung horizontal angles and vertical angles. So survey angles are defined by specifying the plane that contains the angle. So the reference line or plane where the angle starts, direction of turning, and the terminal line or plane where the angle ends. Okay, so in this figure, we have the horizontal survey angle. So ang plane is nasa horizontal plane siya. So this another point, one point, and dapat pare sila ng level. So same level lang siya. When you sight this point and this, then mag-turn ka to the right, to the other point. So makaka-produce ka ng isang horizontal angle. Okay? So angle is difference in direction of two lines. So we have the three kinds of horizontal angles: the exterior, interior, and deflection. So again, these are different kinds of angles. So we will not go into details again. We have the angular units used in measuring angles is we have degrees, minutes and seconds, radians, and degrees. So sa vertical angle, so this is an illustration of getting points of vertical angles. So dapat ito is naka-level. Then this is the point. Isa-sight mo yung telescope mo towards upward. Then yung makuha niyang measurement pataas, yun na yung vertical angle. Direction angles are horizontal angles. So ang direction angles are horizontal angles from a north or south reference. So depende sa reference point mo. We have the north, south, east, or west. So I'm sure familiar mo sa mga directions. No? So direction angles that are computed from field angles include the bearings and azimuths. So a bearing is the acute angle from the reference meridian to the survey line. So it always includes the quadrant designation. So we have, so this is a figure example of a bearing. So we have four quadrant, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So apat na quadrant yan. An azimuth, so this is a example of an azimuth, is the angle from the north end of this reference. So reference meridian clockwise. Lagi ang movement nito is pa-clockwise. So depende rin sa reference mo kung from north, ganyan, or from south, clockwise pa rin, ganun. So it can have a magnitude from 0 to 360 degrees and a quadrant designation is not necessary. So hindi na necessary yung quadrant dito. Lagi siyang isang revolution is 360 degrees. Okay, so ang example na sa bearing, so we have north 60 degrees east. So ibig sabihin, nagmula ka sa north, then nag-move ka ng 60 degrees going to the east. Kung northwest naman, so from north, nag-move ka going to the west. Or kung from south naman ang iyong base is south, 30 degrees to west. So ibig sabihin, nag-move ka from south, 30 degrees going to the west. Kaya naman. Then sa azimuth naman, kung ito ay north 60 degrees east, ang azimuth niyan is azimuth north 60 degrees, ganun lang. Or kung ito 45 degrees, that is 90 plus 45, 115, north 115 degrees. So ibig sabihin nun, azimuth siya nitong bearing na to. Pero kung south ka, dito ka nagsimula, paparas nito, azimuth south ka, south 30 degrees. Yun na yun. Okay? Yun yung pinagkaiba ng bearing sa azimuth. And we have the types of instrument, the transit, theodolite, and total stations. So transit, ito yung pinakaunang surveying instrument na developed during 1800s. And sumunod dyan, theodolite, precision optical instrument for measuring angles between designated visible points in the horizontal and vertical plane. So, ito na yung pinaka-high-tech ngayon, total stations. It is a combination digital, theodolite, and EDMI that allows the user to measure distances and angles electronically and calculate their coordinates. So, ito siya, mag-measure na siya, i-calculate na rin yung coordinates saka yung points. So, andun na lahat. Wala ka nang gagawin. So, pagka-measure niya, lalabas na agad yung data. Well, sa theodolite, i-measure niya pero mano-mano pang i-compute yung mga data na na-measure niya. Okay, for plane survey computations, use 3-dimensional Cartesian coordinate system, the x and y, z coordinate. So, ibig sabihin nun, location mo x, y, z. We have the parang altitude, departure, and then the elevation. So the horizontal components of distance, angle, and direction are assumed to be in the plane defined by x and y axis. So the vertical components are along the z-axis or vertical plane perpendicular to the horizontal xy plane. Plane surveys ignores the effect of earth curvature. Diba? So the fact that actual level surface is perpendicular everywhere to the direction of gravity. So plane survey computations can be used for horizontal control surveys over a large area extent if all observations and positions are properly referenced to a grid system using an appropriate map projection. So maraming ginagamit na map projection. We have the WGS 84, WGS 92, UTM, basta marami. Yan na ginagamit yung northing, easting, coordinates na yun. Latitude, departure. Okay, traverse is a multiple lines of pre-measured lengths are interconnected to measure angles and distances. So, traverse surveying is a popular method of surveying. So, ito yan. Example, andito ka nag-start. Kailangan mong i-locate yung area na to or i-measure. So, tatraverse ka. Traverse daw is the multiple lines of pre-measured lengths. So, interconnected, yan. Another point, then from another point, another point, another point, and another point. So, we have the two types, the closed traverse and the open traverse. So, pag close, kung saan ka nagsimula, doon ka rin mag-end. So, open naman, kung saan ka nag-start, sa kabila ka nag-end, o sa iba ka nag-end. Yan. Okay, for partition of plan, so very familiar mo sa partitioning of plan. Okay, so we have the curves. Horizontal curves are used in route projects to provide a smooth transition between straight line tangent sections. So these curves are simple circular curves. Ito yung mga sa roads na to. Lalo sa bandang part ng badas, yung mga kurbada sa kalsada. Dinidesign siya gamit yung computation ng horizontal curves. So dapat ma-meet niya yung standard or minimum design criteria. Hindi ka basta-basta mag-curve lang nang walang dahilan. Okay? So survey pa rin yun. Part pa rin siya ng survey or route surveys. Then we have the vertical curves. So lalo kung sa bundok, pababa, bigla kang tataas, ganun. Or from taas crescent or the crest, bababa. So kino-compute din yun. So dito, naglalagay ng mga cut and fill. Ganun din dito. Cut and fill. So sa design. So basta mga curves sa kalsada na siya ginagamit or ina-apply. Okay, and now we have your to-do list. So assignment number 6, again, this is a group activity. So you need to prepare the following materials: steel tape and stone. So you will need to measure horizontal distance and angle. So paano gagawin nyo? Kung ito yung instruction, so go to your nearest gymnasium or kahit anong court or any safe na lugar sa inyong community. Dapat flat surface siya. Yung safe, yung ligtas kayo. Okay, then establish a point on a field and mark. So example, ito yung horizontal surface. Locate any point daw in the field and mark. So example, ito. Ayan. Markahan nyo na O. Then from the established point, measure 5 lines of distance 20 meters in different directions with the established point as the reference. So ito yung established point, point O. So mag-measure daw kayo ng 20 meters from end distance. So 5 lines, so that is 20 meters. O kahit saan. That is 20 meters. Example lang ha. Ganyan. Kahit saang distance. So that is 20 meters lahat, pare-parehas. 20 meters, 20 and 20. Then after, use the stone mark the vertices of the triangle and call it as point A, B, and so on. So lagyan nyo din ng point A, point B, point C, point D, and point E. Okay, so next. And measure and record the distance of each adjacent two lines from their outward point. So measure and record the distances on their outward point. So ito, ang need nyo i-measure. Then, and then, this is you need to measure. Then ito, need to measure, measure, and measure. So atin nyo, gamit nyo ang inyong steel tape. Okay, then next, compute the included angle using sine or cosine law. So using cosine law. Then compute the area of each triangle. So i-compute nyo daw yung area of each triangle. And make sure to document the activities by recording a video. So dapat mayroong isang videographer. Okay. And after which, record your data gathered. So using the tabulated data, you will write here the included angle. Then we have the chord distance. So the chord distance is yung distance na na-measure ninyo. Ito yun. So for ating point O, example point O. So chord angle, included angle with, ito yung angle na nasa loob. Included angle So angle A0B. Yun. Then we have the angle BOC. Ayan. Then angle dito, we have the angle COD. Ganun. Basta lahat ma-record nyo. Then length of sides. So ito yung mga length of side that is equal to 20 meters. Pare-parehas. Then computed angle. So using cosine law, makompute ninyo ang angle. Then correction angles and adjusted angles. So correction angles, so these are isang revolution or isang ikot that is equal to 360 degrees, diba? So kunin nyo lang yung summation ng mga angles. Summation. Kung ilan lang lumabas, for example 340 degrees. So hindi siya nag-equal to 360 degrees, diba? Kasi dapat ang isang ikot 360 degrees. So minus nyo lang 360 minus na-compute nyo yung angle sa summation ng 5 angle. 340 divided by 5. So kung ilan ang labas, yun yung correction angle. So i-distribute nyo lang siya equally. Then after which, kung ano yung correction angle, kung negative yung lumabas or kung positive siya, i-add lang ninyo sa computed angle. So computed angle plus correction angle, so that is the adjusted angle. Okay, and for the area, so we know that area of a triangle is equal to 1/2 base times height. Pero hindi man siya applicable sa ganitong equation. So we'll use is 1/2 So since ang triangle natin, we have the two sides and the included angle. So ito. So ang kubit natin dyan is A times B. That is the two side times the sine of the included angle. So included angle, ito yung included. So that is, for this area, 1/2 A 20 meters times B 20 meters times the sine of the included angle. Pero yung included angle gamitin nyo is yung adjusted angle na, hindi na yung computed angles. Okay, then of course you need to show your computations. Then submit your data sa Canvas. Okay, then we have the summary, describe your learning and problems encountered during the activities. So isulat lang sa MS Word or Excel, MS Word na lang, kasama itong data. Then show your computations or picturean lang ninyo, then ipasa nyo sa Canvas. Okay, so that's it. Oh, na-question. Kapoy na ba ka? Ikapoy na ba ka? Ship na. Okay, basa na lang uban. Yan ako basa. And that's congratulations. Civil engineers are not born, so they are raised. Brought to you by Milo. At pag mahuman ninyo siya, you may proceed to next lessons. Pero update muna sa inyong story. Yes, I did it again. So that's it for today. Congratulations and have a nice day. See you again next video lecture. Okay, bye-bye.